What's going on, Giants fans? Before we get into today's show, I got to ask you guys, or just talk you guys through what happened in the office today. I'm our only Giants fan here. We got like 3 Cowboys fans, an Eagles fan, a Texan fan, and we got into an office debate. I said Eli Manning was a first ballot Hall of Famer. None of them agreed with me. They all called me a homer and biased, and I call BS because Eli Manning is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, look at everything he's done. 42 game-winning drives, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, beat Tom Brady and Bill Belichick twice. So I'll ask you this question. Is Eli Manning a first ballot Hall of Famer? Let's settle an office debate. As the lone Giants fan in the office, it pissed me off. I got a little bit rattled, so I want to hear from you. Type Y for yes if you think he is a first ballot Hall of Famer, or type N for I'm a Cowboys fan. What's going on, everybody? You're watching New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green, as always, and with training camp just a couple of days away, I think it's a good idea to look at this article that ESPN put out. They put out a 53-man roster projection for every single team, and we're going to highlight 4 of the cuts, who I think are all shocking cut candidates for the New York Giants. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how Brian Daboll gets down from 90 players to 53 players. It's going to be interesting. There's a lot of players at wide receiver that deserve to be on the roster. There's a good amount of running backs. The Giants are deep at O-line for the first time. So let's roll through the 4 surprise cut candidates ESPN had. And this one's not that surprising because we've been talking about it all summer. That's why you subscribe and hit that big red button. Help us get to 10,000 subscribers. Darius Slayton, and it makes sense because throughout Giants OTAs and minicamp, he was running with the second team. CJ Board, Richie James were all running ahead of him with the first team, and that was with Kenny Golladay, Kadarius Toney, and Sterling Shepard not really practicing. They were wearing the red non-contact practice jerseys. ESPN had these 6 wide receivers making the roster. Golladay, Toney, Shepard, Robinson, those are all locks to make the roster. I think those last 2 spots are up for grabs, and I think training camp and preseason will decipher who makes those final 2 spots. ESPN has CJ Board and Richie James making those final 2 available slots at the wide receiver depth chart, and that makes some sense. CJ Board, he's a special team specialist, and Daboll is a big fan of Richie James. But let's focus in on Darius Slayton and see what he's done through his first 3 years of his NFL career after being a 5th-round selection where he overperformed as a rookie. 48 grabs, 740 yards, 15.5 yards per catch, 8 touchdowns, and just 2 drops. He was asked to be a starter after some injuries went down in the Giants wide receiver room, and he stepped up and delivered in a big way. But it was after that, in 2020 and 2021, where his production kind of fell off a little bit. 2020, still a good solid season. 50 grabs, 750 yards, but his touchdowns went from 8 to 3, and his drops went from 2 to 6, and then in 2021, he had his worst season of his young NFL career. Just 26 grabs, 339 yards, 2 touchdowns, 6 drops, 12 drops over the last 2 seasons. Darius Slayton lacks confidence, in my opinion. He's really only a one-trick pony, can only run the deep route. And if you're going to get open but not catch the football, it's going to hurt this offense more than it's going to help. So I understand why ESPN had Darius Slayton as a cut candidate. But I want to hear from all the real ones right now, all the Giants Now subscribers. Let me know how you're feeling about Darius Slayton. Will he make the Giants' 53-man roster? I want to get you guys chirping on early in the comment section. Let me know. Type M for make if you think Slayton's going to make the roster, or C for cut if you think he gets cut. Here at Giants Now, and specifically Chat Sports, we're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. And so is the Browns Report, hosted by Matthew Peterson, our usual producer, not in the chair today. But we were over like 500 subscribers ahead of the Cleveland Browns Report. Now it's just 100 away. PD's right now flicking me off because it's a race to $10,000. $10,000, 10,000 subscribers. So I want you to go down right now, hit that big red button, because look, we got a bet. We can't really talk about what it's about, but it's going to suck if the Cleveland Browns Reports gets to 10K subscribers before Giants Now. So help me help you, because it's going to be good for you if we win. Go down right now and hit that big red button. Surprise cut candidate number 2. What about the second-year running back, a former fifth-round selection back in the 2021 draft, Gary Brightwell? He didn't really play that much as a rookie, only contributed really in the special teams department, had like 2 carries and a catch if I remember exactly right. But I understand why ESPN had him on the outside in, looking at the Giants' 53-man roster. These were the 4 running backs that ESPN and Jordan Renan had the Giants keeping. Saquon Barkley, obvious. Matt Breida very much will make this roster. Antonio Williams and Jashaun Corbin are all going to be competing for that 3rd running back spot. I would not be surprised if the Giants only kept 3 running backs. Renan had him keeping 4, and the 4th one being Jashaun Corbin over Gary Brightwell. Corbin has impressed in rookie minicamps, OTAs. He's caught the eye of Brian Daboll. Daboll said following Giants rookie minicamps that he looked good. He looked quick. He likes the energy that he brings. He also provides some special teams value. He returned punts and kicks at Florida State last year. Kind of reminds me a little bit of a guy named Ahmad Bradshaw. He's smaller, is strong, runs really hard, falls forward, and is a one-cut runner. Once he finds that hole, he sticks his foot in the grass and gets north and south and then runs to green grass. I like Corbin a lot. I personally like him more than Gary Brightwell as a prospect. And I think it's funny that these 2 guys are going to be competing for the last open running back spot on this roster. So I'll ask you Giant fans this question. Who makes the roster out of these 2 running backs? Will it be the second-year player in Gary Brightwell that was not drafted by this regime, or will it be the undrafted free agent, the Florida State Seminole, Jashaun Corbin? Type JC for Jashaun Corbin or GB for Gary Brightwell. Now on to the defensive side of the football. Renan listed Oshane Ximines as a cut candidate for the Giants. He was not on the Giants' 53-man roster that ESPN and Renan put out, and that makes some sense. Because when you think about the outside linebackers on this roster and the ones that Renan had making the final 53, they all make sense. He had Azeez Ojulari, Kayvon Thibodeau, Ellerson Smith, and Quincy Roche, as well as Jihad Ward, making the roster as outside linebacker. I don't really view Jihad Ward as an outside linebacker. I view him as an edge and an interior piece on this defensive line. He's played in the Martindale system for a couple of years right now, up until now. He's kind of like a Swiss Army knife. He'll line up in the A-gap and on the outside. I like Jihad Ward, but he's going to be competing as well with Oshane Ximines at that final spot. I think it's a lock that Roche, Smith, Thibodeau, and Ojulari all make the roster. Ward, I think, has a foot in the door right now. But if Ximines comes out in training camp or preseason and balls out, he could fight his way onto this roster. He's played in 30 career games so far through his NFL career, and it's kind of been underwhelming. We thought there was a lot of potential for Ximines, the X-Man coming out of Old Dominion, but he hasn't really lived up to the bill that we thought he was going to have. 43 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks, 14 QB hits. He's kind of a tease because he has all the traits that you want in an outside linebacker. He just really hasn't been all that available. And sometimes for these fringe roster spot guys, the best ability is availability. And Oshane Ximines has only played in 30 games through 3 years in his NFL career. He's battled the injury bug, been somewhat productive when he's on the field. But I could easily see him being on the outside of this Giants 53-man roster when Daboll and Schoen put the final roster in red ink. One thing you should do is follow Giants Now on Rumble, rumble.com/NYGiantsTV, because we are in 3rd place here amongst all the other chat sports channels. And once again, there's the Browns report right on top of us. I don't ever want to lose to Matthew Peterson. He just came in the studio and gave me the bird. Well, Petey, you can't see it under the desk, but I'm giving you the double bird right now. But go follow us on Rumble, rumble.com/NYGiantsTV. It's another place where you can stay up to date on the latest Giants news and rumors. I'll put the link to that, rumble.com/NYGiantsTV, in the comments section and description of this video. Last surprise or shocking cut candidate, whatever word you want to use, Cam Brown was named by Jordan Renan as someone who's not going to make this roster, and I kind of agree with all of the other ones in Slayton, Brightwell, and Ximines, but Cam Brown kind of has me scratching my head a little bit because these were the inside linebackers that ESPN and Renan had making the Giants roster. Blake Martinez, Tay Crowder, McFadden, Beavers. Those 4 are all locks. But he had Carter Coughlin making the roster ahead of Cam Brown. And I do think it will come down to Brown versus Coughlin. So let's take a look at what they've done in their young NFL careers. None of the stats really pop off the screen. Both these guys have gotten the majority of their snaps in the special teams department. I think Cam Brown is a better special teams player than Coughlin. Coughlin's the ultimate tweener. Came into the NFL as an edge rusher, didn't work out, so he switched to linebacker last year. That didn't work out either, and now he's kind of going back and forth at camp. I do like the pass rush traits he brings as an inside linebacker, but I think Cam Brown has a little bit more versatility, as he is also, like Coughlin, a little bit of a tweener. But we've seen Brown be more effective on special teams than Coughlin throughout their NFL career so far. So last question on the show. I want you to pick one of these guys to make the roster, because I feel very strongly that one of them will not. Will it be Cam Brown? Will it be Carter Coughlin? Let me know. Be the GM. Which one of these guys do you think is going to make the Giants' 53-man roster? Type CB for Cameron Brown or CC for Carter Coughlin. I appreciate everybody that's made New York Giants Now a part of their day today. Let's get a real one roll call right now. If you made it this far in the video, I want you to type real one in the comments section right now. I'll be down there reading all your comments, engaging with you guys, chopping it up on the latest Giants news and rumors. But let me know if you made it this far in the video by typing real one in the comments section, so you know I can decipher the shysters from the real ones. So if you made it this far, type real one in the comments right now.